Hello and welcome. So, if you've ever found yourself just stuck in a loop of overthinking, you know exactly how draining it can be. But what if the fix wasn't about wrestling your thoughts into submission? What if it was about changing something in your body? Today, we're going to break down a really fascinating model for calming that busy mind.
Right? This is the question. We've all been there. You tell your brain, okay, that's enough, be quiet now, and it just gets louder. The advice to just stop thinking is so frustrating because, honestly, it feels impossible. Well, it turns out there's a really good reason for that, and the answer is probably not where you think it is. And here's why. That constant loop of thoughts, that internal chatter and self-monitoring, it isn't just happening between your ears. No, it has a powerful physical component that we almost always ignore. There's a distinct bodily signature to overthinking. Okay, now what's so interesting here is how specific these feelings are. Just take a second and do a quick check-in with your body right now. Do any of these feel a little familiar? That subtle knot in your solar plexus, the tightening in your throat, maybe that feeling that your head is kind of pushing forward. See, these aren't just random aches. They are absolutely part of a pattern. So this is the crucial point. These physical habits aren't just symptoms, they create a feedback loop. Your body gets stuck in this subtle forward-leaning posture of vigilance, which then sends a signal back to your brain to keep scanning, keep monitoring, keep evaluating. Your physical state is literally fueling the overthinking. Now, this pattern actually has a name. It's called the anterior-posterior hinge. And understanding this one concept is pretty much the key to breaking free from that constant low-grade state of alert. So what does that even mean? Well, basically, instead of using our body's full three-dimensional support system, a lot of us get stuck in this two-point balancing act. We're relying on tension in the front of the body and tension in the back of the body, creating this really unstable hinge that requires constant muscular effort just to hold us up. And this slide just illustrates the difference perfectly. On the left, you've got the hinge, weak sides, a tense back, that classic forward head posture, and shallow breathing. It's a structure that is literally built for vigilance. But then, look at the right. That's the alternative, a stable 3D support system. It's got strong sides, a relaxed and wide back, and free, unrestricted breathing. This is a structure built for stability, not for alarm. So the big question is, how do we fix this? Well, the proposed solution is incredibly simple and accessible. The key is just to lie down, to go supine. Why? Because that takes gravity and all that postural effort almost completely out of the equation. And the adjustments themselves, they are so subtle. Let's just walk through them. First, you just find a gentle awareness of your sides. This is not a crunch, it's just a feeling of lateral presence. Then you simply allow your back to feel wide on the floor, you let your head settle naturally, and, this is the most important part, you do absolutely nothing to your breath. The whole goal here is to allow, not to force. Now, by making these tiny little structural adjustments, you set off this amazing cascade of positive changes. You're not fighting your thoughts at all. You're simply changing the physical foundation that they're operating on. And this is really where the magic happens. This is where the real shift begins. It all starts when that front-to-back tension, that hinge we've been talking about, just begins to soften and release its grip. As that hinge weakens, it creates space. And into that space, a more stable, three-dimensional support system just naturally starts to emerge. It's like your body remembers this more efficient, more stable way of holding itself. And this new, deeper support from your core and sides, it travels upwards, allowing the neck and head to rebalance almost automatically. That forward head posture starts to correct itself without you even having to think about forcing it back. So, as your body starts to feel more structurally secure, more grounded, your nervous system gets the message. It's like a system-wide memo just went out that says, hey, we can stand down now. That need for constant low-grade muscular vigilance finally begins to power down. Which brings us to the final and most crucial result. The physical triggers that were constantly feeding and amplifying your overthinking, they're now significantly weaker. You haven't fought your mind into silence. You've just turned down the volume on the amplifier by changing the physical foundation.
And what's really fascinating is that just as a byproduct of finding this new structural stability, other things often improve. People report less pain in their neck and shoulders, fewer headaches, and just easier breathing. But it's so important to remember, these are welcome side effects. They are not the primary goal. The true aim is that deep structural recalibration.
So, what does this all add up to? Well, it requires a completely different mindset than what you might be used to, because this practice isn't about achieving anything at all.
I love this. The only rules are there are no rules. You're not trying to get good at this. You're not chasing some special deep state of zen. If you fall asleep, great. It just means your body needed the rest. And thoughts? They're allowed to be there. They are not the enemy we're trying to defeat.
In fact, let's just look at the clear, precise definition from the source material itself. This isn't meditation, it isn't therapy, it is a body-based structural redistribution model to reduce recursive triggers. You're just reorganizing how your body supports itself to change the signals being sent to your brain. That's it.
And this is the ultimate takeaway. The goal has never, ever been to achieve a blank mind. I mean, what an impossible and frustrating standard that is. The real goal is to move from a chaotic, vigilant internal state to a stable one, a state where thoughts can come and go without hijacking your entire system. So the question this leaves us with is a really powerful one. What if all our efforts to battle our thoughts have been aimed at the wrong target? What if the real key to a quieter, more stable mind lies not in our head, but in the simple, profound relationship between our body and the ground right beneath us?